name is Jeff. I'm the production manager for the band. This is my 21st year out on tour with the Destroyers. I have started out as just the mix guy. All I did was mix the band. I just did front of house. And then as positions changed and we grew heads, we put on a different hat. Became the production manager probably in about 2003, maybe. And been the production manager ever since. So I advance all aspects of production from crew to sound, lights, buses, trucks, all those things. So I handle anything to do with production on the tour. So that's me.
I'm Sean Berman. I'm the monitor engineer for George Thorogood and the Destroyers. I've been George's monitor engineer for 17 years. However, when I met them, knew nothing about live sound. I was their studio engineer and did the Ride Till I Die record. I was the engineer on that. And about a year later, they called me up and asked me if I wanted to start coming out on the road to record them. And I said, yeah. And they said, great, well, you have to learn how to do monitors.
Sean and I, the monitor engineer, fly the PA every day. So we do that when normally on most tours, they would have two guys to do that job. So there would be a guy to fly one side and the other. And then we do that and our normal jobs, plus advancing. Plus Sean does a bunch of our video content and things of that nature to help out all of the marketing teams that we have assembled. Everybody here knows their role. Everybody wears multiple hats. There's that one, you know, you always got to keep your eye on that one guy. Rev, our other backline guy, he handles rigging and it helps on the lighting rig as well.
I'm Rev Jones. Maybe you've heard of me. Kind of a big shot. I'm George's guitar tech. I also set up all the backline, the drums, change the heads, all the strings. Do a little help on the lighting early on, wear various masks, or I don't. I'm not sure. Somebody wears masks. Probably me, maybe not.
My name is Josh HANNUM. I'm the lighting director for George Thorogood and the Destroyers. And this is gonna be my 4th year with them. Lighting, I've been doing for going on like 8, 9 years. Yeah. I started out in Texas, that's where I'm from. I was working for a company there. I went to school there, kind of like a 2-year tech program school. And then I eventually made my way up to Oklahoma City, where I then started working for a company called Toucan Productions. And that's how I got the gig with George. Been here ever since. Love it.
Josh is our lighting designer and he's been here a few years now. We literally design everything in-house you see. We don't hire designers outside. We literally sit on, probably in about a month from now, usually mid-July or so, we'll sit down and start writing out designs and drawing them literally on napkins, one sheet at a time, and we'll have 30 or so designs and literally pick them off in the production office just like tabs. You know, if we don't like that one, we like this one, we'll narrow it down to 10 and then to 8 and then to 6 and then to 3, then to 2, and then we weigh it out between the two options, and then we decide what we're gonna do and how we're gonna hang it and how we can implement that daily, safely, correctly, and have a killer looking show and a killer sounding show.
You know, he knows that, you know, we kind of are doing our thing, like, but Jeff PITT, the production manager, you know, he's been with them for more than 20 years, you know, and he kind of has that eye, and he knows what the band needs, what George needs, because he's been with them for so long. And so if I have any questions, you know, that pertains to a little bit more detail, Jeff is who I would go to, you know.
The band itself is obviously a fine old machine and has been for many, many years, but the crew itself, everybody's been here a long time. Our average crew guy's been here 15 years, so we all know what to do. We probably know each other better than we do our spouses and our families and our kids. But it's a great balance for all of us out here to have a great family life at home as well as a great road life. So with us touring only about 100 to 120 days a year, we actually get quite a bit of time at home.
It's amazing. I mean, we get to travel the world and get paid for it. And like I said, we all get along. So it's like being out there with all your brothers. You know, we have a good time. We try to make sure, you know, everybody does their job, and we try to do it as efficiently as possible so that there are no problems. There's no reason to fight or get upset. But the whole experience of touring with this band is just amazing. I mean, from the management down to the lowest man on the totem pole, everybody pulls their weight. We're not a big crew.
It's great. I mean, it's easy because all the crew, we all get along. Probably my favorite part is having a new guy around because we get to pick on him.
We've traveled all over the world together, and there's a lot we've seen, a lot that we've done. Nothing bad. We're all the funny thing is, what's real funny is, you know, we're all older guys for the most part, and you think rock and roll. If you came on our bus, 9 times out of 10, we're discussing recipes. We all like to cook, so.
I think it's a well-oiled machine, and it has to be because we have a lot to do. And at the end of the day, you know, it's the fans who you know get the benefits of that well-oiled machine. You know what I'm saying?
These fans are the best, you know. And I've worked with some fans. There's some bands in this age genre like Tower of Power and REO Speedwagon, and we share a lot of the same fans, believe it or not. But these guys, you know, are out of sight. A guy will come up to me, just like in the last year, a guy come up, had this rag on his head. And I'm thinking, wow, there's a guy for you. And he came up and he said, hey, Mikey, this is my 53rd show. And I said, wow, is that right? And he took this rag off his head like that and said, look, remember this hat? It was a cap, for crying out loud. And the cat had worn it forever and ever, amen.
It's funny because you watch, the fans are actually starting to get younger. Like, you know, you had a little bit of an older base at first, and as we're coming out, you're starting to see a lot more younger and younger people coming to the shows. Obviously, the parents have turned them on, and for a band to last 46 years, you know, you kind of need that. But you know, his fans they're real blue collar, down to earth working people. We don't get a lot of problems. We do have a high volume of people jumping onto the stage. So we typically, like this venue doesn't, but typically we'll request a barricade. And a lot of venues, what do you need a barricade for? And we're like, trust me, if you don't, and sure enough, people will just jump on the stage. And plenty of times me and his security have had to run out and dislodge somebody while he's trying to play, so yeah.
Out of their minds. I mean, it's funny, that's the people that you don't expect, you know, like if you say, we got to have a barricade, and they say, oh, our fans aren't like that. If they say that, a 70-pound woman is going to come up here and lock her body around George, and it's going to take 4 or 5 big guys to get her off. That's what happens. That's the kind of crowd, you know. They say, oh, our fans aren't like that. Well, Thorogood fans are. You know, they come, they drink, they have a good time. That's how it is here. You bring a normal person here, they start seeing, you know, the show, and they lose their minds.
Everything feeds off of one another. You know, the crowd, George has to feed off of the crowd. That's where he gets his energy. So he's performing to his best ability at every night. And whenever I see that energy, you know, I have to match that energy, you know, with the lighting, because it's a Q to Q show, and you know, it's already programmed, but there's a lot of things that are happening on the fly that I'm having to punt, as they call it in lighting terms, punting. And I feel that energy, you know, on stage when the band is up there just killing it, you know, and the crowd then is feeding off of that. I have to then match that, and it's really just a matter of that feel, you know, that feeling. It's just hitting them with what I feel matches George's energy at that time, you know.
How is it working with George?
George, he's
Awful. It's terrible. No, it's great. He's a great team to work with, you know, great guy to work with. And it's 24/7. You know, he's that person 24/7. He's bad. He's bad.
He's pretty good, man. He gives it 140% every night. I say that with complete conviction. He's a guy that never phones it in.
Oh, amazing. Like I said, I mean, he treats you like you're a part of the family, because this is his road family. You know, this is the people that he's been with for a long, long time, you know, and it's amazing. He's great to work for, and we have a lot of conversations about, you know, what he's thinking about for lighting, and what he kind of has to have for them to feed off of that crowd.
George is great. He's, you know, he's everything you think he'd be. He's you know, such an icon in the blues rock industry. Yet he's just a normal guy. You know, it's you get to see him perform, and he can light up a crowd, and he basically, when you come on, he tells you, he's like, you're a destroyer. You know, that's his outlook on it. Every man in the crew is a destroyer. So he treats everybody great. You know, there's no issues. He's not a diva by any means. So I love working with him.
Everybody puts 120% in every day, even when we're not feeling well or if something's going on at home or we're trying to handle things there. Everybody still puts in every piece of effort for him to make him look and sound good, feel good. Everything we can do to create a comfort level for him, because we have enough variables on a daily basis that when it comes to that 40 or 50 feet on stage, we want it to feel the same every day for them so that they perform at their greatest ability for each fan every night.
And I make a young girl squeal. I wanna be yours, pretty baby.